Welcome back to another episode of Top Shelf Film here on the Filmaholic channel. This week we are doing our top 10 actors and actresses that we want to work with once we're we're professionally making films. I'm really excited to get into this. As usual, we're going to start with our honorable mentions. We're going to give you 5 honorable mentions that we would like to work with, but doesn't make it in our 10. Ethan, kick things off and give me your honorable mentions.
All right. So I think, like you, this is not necessarily my top 15 favorite actors.
No.
It's just ones that I want to work with based on what I've seen and what I could do with them.
And that's why, too, like, at least one person in my honorable mentions that's moved down to my honorable mentions is one of my favorite actors. But, you know, I don't know. I was looking at, like, he's very selective of what he does. And do I think it's, you know, if I started making movies, what's the likelihood of me even getting him in a film? Would I write a role for him? You know, like, I didn't include him on the list.
Yeah, I didn't go by that. I just went by what I would want to work with him based on how much I like him and then compared to what projects I would work on. Not whether they would say yes. It's not at this point, for my list, it's like assuming they would say yes.
Well, I mean, I factored in different stuff. I factored in that too, but also, like I said, like, would I write a role from him? Would what I made, I don't know, like I said, well, that goes back into what he did or not, be, you know, up there with something he would make, or she would make, or whoever. But, and there's some that I'm like, I like them so much that they're definitely going in there, regardless of, like you said,
you'll like it.
But yeah, so it's not a favorite list. It's who we want to work with and who we would think could give an amazing performance in our film.
Yeah. So my number 15, I've got Keanu Reeves kicking it off.
Okay.
I've been a fan of Keanu Reeves forever. People just jumping on the bandwagon after John Wick really annoys me. Check out his older movies. It's like Matthew McConaughey. Nobody cared about him for like 10 years. And then his career picked back up and like, oh yeah, I like him a lot.
And you were like, full skull. Put it in.
I didn't mind How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days or Failure to Launch. But that also had Bradley Cooper. So there's that.
I think it's on Netflix right now.
Yeah. I was going to watch it last night. I decided to watch Pan instead. Number 14, someone who can move up after I see their next couple films is Ana de Armas. Right now, I think I've only seen Knives Out, Blade Runner 2049, which she was incredible in those.
And that's something that I didn't necessarily look at as much as you did, because we talked about that before of like, have they made enough stuff? Because it's like, that would make a decision for me if they were going to be on my favorite actor list. But in terms of me wanting to work with them, it's like, even if I've seen one thing, which I don't know if I put anybody on here that I've only seen one thing they've done, but even if I've seen one thing and I'm like, wow, like, I think I could really do something with them.
Yeah. Well, my number 10 has only been in 2 things, but she blew me away in both of them.
Oh, well, I know who your number 10
but,
is.
Like I say, that's kind of an exception because it's like there's two like incredible performances that are kind of different. Which, like I say, I think she should have been nominated, Ana de Armas, for Knives Out.
I agree.
I'm not taking anything away from her, but it's like just that's the only 2 things I've seen. So I mean, if you remade this list after the Marilyn Monroe movie, you know, she could move up a couple spots probably. Number 13, I got Shia LaBeouf making this comeback. Perfect time to get him in a movie. Especially, I think he's more like passionate about what roles he chooses now. So it's not, you know, he's not going to do any like big flashy action movies. It's not really what I want to do. Yeah. Number 12, I got Christian Bale. Incredible actor. Should have been nominated a couple more times in his career than he was. But somebody who like really commits to the role, gives an awesome performance. You know, been in the game since he was a kid, so he knows people. He could hook me up with some of these other actors I want to work with. Give him the script. Say, yeah, you should do this role.
And that's, I want to throw this in there real quick before I forget. That's another thing I looked at was, so say I chose somebody in my list that fits a certain age, like I may not have chosen someone else that I also would like to have worked with because I'm like, I would probably choose this person to work with instead of this person.
Yeah.
Like, for an example, Chris Pine didn't make it anywhere on my list, but I would like to work with him. But like, there's other actors that are on my list that would fit the same thing that he could do.
Yeah.
Like age and looks. So
just name Chris.
There's no other Chris, but
there's like 10 of them.
He would be probably the first Chris that I would choose. So.
And then my final honorable mention is Bradley Cooper. He's had a wide career. He started in kind of like rom-coms, like we said, like other comedies, like Hangover. It's like his first big thing. Then he, transitioned into dramatic roles like American Sniper. Should have won Best Actor. And then he should have won Best Actor for A Star Is Born.
And director.
Best performance, of the last decade from a male. But yeah, like obviously he has range. He can do comedy, drama. Wouldn't mind seeing him in like some kind of thriller, like something like Seven-ish, something like that. But yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
To kick off my honorable mention, this was a very hard list though. Like I had fun doing it, but it was a very hard list because there's so many people that I do want to work with, and I just had to like also factor in not only just like I said favorites and people who I really like, but also people that I ultimately want to work with, who I think would be in my films, would work. So my number 15 is Emma Roberts. Yeah, definitely not on your list. I like Emma Roberts a lot. She's been acting since she was a kid. She was in Blow as a child, played their daughter. She's young.
Horror Story, so that's her big kind of
right. And regardless of what you think of American Horror Story as a whole, because there's some seasons I like more than others. There's some episodes, like different points in that, and even certain seasons I like more than others. She's consistently good at every part of American Horror Story. I think she's really good. I think she was really good in Scream Queens as well. So I think she's a good actress. I think she's an underrated actress. She's one who is Ryan Murphy brings her back because they have a good working relationship. But she's underrated. Like she's not getting a lot of these other big movies that she probably should. She's getting overlooked. And I don't know why. So I would like, and that's an instance where I'm like, I kind of want to do where Tarantino, where he like takes some of these actors that aren't necessarily getting big roles and put them in movies and make them have big roles and show their acting capabilities. And she's, like I said, also young. So that's another reason I didn't choose somebody like Jeff Bridges or whatever for my list that might be older, where it's like, by the time I would make these movies, I'm not really sure what I would write for you. I could write something for her. So she's my number 15. My number 14 is Margot Robbie, who is somebody who wasn't in my top 10 originally, and then I switched some stuff around, and she is now my number 14. She's a really great actress. I would like to work with her. Once again, she's young. And I want to see her in more roles that definitely explore her acting capability, like a Tarantino type film versus something like what she's doing in the DC universe. Not that she's bad in that, but so far we've really got her as Harley Quinn and other commercial type roles. I want to see her in some other stuff. My number 13, one you're really going to be surprised about, but that's who I was just talking about earlier, and that's Leonardo DiCaprio. Is my 13 in my honorable mentions. My third favorite actor, but he only got in my honorable mentions because I feel like if I ever got to work with Leo, it would be like at the point in my ninth film or something, like Al Pacino for Tarantino. Like he's gonna come in this smaller supporting role that will pop, but that would be somebody who I jumped for my first like 3 films and would be trying to make or something. My number 12, Josh Brolin. Somebody else I consider for my top 10. Love Josh Brolin. Every performance I've seen from him, he's knocked it out of the park. Even in films that I didn't love that much, like W, I thought he was great in it. I would really like to work with him, but also it's like there's a couple other actors, or at least one other actor that I feel like I'd probably choose instead of him, because I was thinking there's one movie that I have an idea for that I want to do, and originally I was thinking about Josh Brolin for it, and then I was like, no, I could put this other actor, my favorite actor, in this role. So then I was like, okay. But I don't know. Josh Brolin is my number 12. And my number 11, finishing my honorable mentions, is someone who was also on yours, and that is Ana de Armas. Made it on my honorable mentions here. She almost made it in my top 10 because I think she's really great, and I do want to work with her. But it was a hard list. It was a hard 10, so she just didn't make it in there because of that. All right, that's our honorable mentions.
My number 10, not on your list. Like I was talking about earlier, is Thomasin McKenzie.
Yeah, not on my list.
I think she's been phenomenal. Like I said, I've only seen it Leave No Trace and Jojo Rabbit, but I stand by she should have won supporting actress for both of those movies. Credible performances.
She's also in the King, if you want to check that out.
I didn't want to check that out. I might. There's something else. There's a true story of the Ned Kelly gang she's in. I think it came out this year or last year. It's got the guy from 1917, George McKay. That's the main reason I'm not watching it. He's the lead actor, and I didn't see anything. But she's incredible. Young actress, so I mean, it's kind of the age. Like I'm more into like coming of age movies or westerns, which nobody seems to care about these days. So that's cool. But I seem more interested in her. I think she could do more like dramatic roles. I like to see her in like some comedies too, because like she had some funny lines in Jojo Rabbit that Taika wrote for her. But overall, yeah, I would love to work with her sometime.
Let's make a Western shared universe.
A shared universe? Oh man, I'm gonna have to come up with like a terrible title like Sony did. The WPCCU.
We make all of these different Westerns and then have it tie in.
I love Westerns, so I think they're underrated for.
I like the genre a lot.
Our generation. You're missing out, man. I'm telling
you. There's more that I need to watch. It's just like something. It's just like I'm trying to watch 80s films right now. Get caught up on that for when we do these 80s lists. And even at like when I watch a Western, I'm like, well, it was good. And so like Once Upon a Time in the West, like I gave it 4 stars. I didn't love it though. Like and maybe that's part of when it came out. That's not one of your favorites.
Lonesome Dove. You're gonna watch that, and then you'll understand what I mean.
The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. I don't see what people. You have it 5 stars. And Tarantino's one of his favorite movies. I don't know.
Wait,
I missed it.
I don't know. Like I say, I'm more passionate about westerns too, so it's a more. It's a stricter genre for me than most people. It's like like I mean like you talk about Hell or High Water, not a western, not a western. Get out of here.
I think it is.
Here it's not. No, if they're not on horses, no, I don't want to hear it. Cars, no. It's
but like, with Good and the Bad Ugly, it's like I was really into it until like the whole Civil War stuff started happening, and then got into that whole part of it, and then I was just like, what's happening?
How I felt about Gangs of New York. I was like, leave this stuff out. I don't care.
I don't know if my number 10 will be in your list or not. I'm assuming probably not, but we'll see. It's somebody who I've grew up watching. Love some of his work, like some of his work, don't like, it's just but consistently I like him, and that's Adam Sandler, my number 10.
He's not on my list.
Yeah, that he's iconic too, and it's like I'm not gonna make like a Happy Madison production like that. I can't see that happening.
You will, or he won't be in it.
I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be like what his typical Happy Madison would be, but maybe he wants to mix it up, have an edgier one. Maybe I'll come in, help him out. But I would rather do something with him that would be like expressing his acting capabilities, and something like Uncut Gems or Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah. Even
Funny People, or stuff that's not necessarily like that. Yeah, Reign Over Me. But yeah, would love to work with Adam Sandler.
He almost made the cut. He was in like the longer list for me. But now my number 9 was on your honorable mentions, and that's Josh Brolin. What he did in the MCU and then his other careers. Yeah, started out in the Goonies, so obviously, like I say, he's another one who has like a wider range. Only the Brave is one that's grown on me a lot since I watched it. I guess it was a 4 when I watched it. I think you liked it more than I did, and now I like it more than you do. I think it's phenomenal.
I haven't seen it in a while though.
It's incredible. It's one. Just throw on like I was watching it. I think it was like last year. I was at work. Watching it like, oh man, I'm gonna have to turn this off or I'm not gonna get anything done because I just want to watch his performance. Like Miles Teller was incredible, but his acting is phenomenal. And like another one, I love to make Lonesome Dove a remake, and I'd love to have him in one of the 2 lead roles with one of my other numbers later on. But yeah, love to work with Josh Brolin.
My number 9 is he fits kind of the same bill that maybe Adam Sandler could do, but like they're very different. And this is somebody who is hilarious, can do comedy, but he can do very serious. He can do anything. He's one of the, when I make my favorite actor list, this guy's going to be on there as well. But he is older, so I don't know, like, in terms of what I would make, if he would be a leading character in that film. I don't know, but I had to put him on the list, and that's Steve Carell is my number 9.
Oh, that's my number 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate you so much. Yeah, just wait. I love The Office so much.
Yeah.
Favorite show. Even that show shows his comedic and dramatic range.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then you've got other things like 40-Year-Old Virgin compared to like Foxcatcher.
Yeah. And Vice.
Yeah. Just incredible actor. I just can't stop picturing Michael Scott though. Like what he's talking about right now. It's all his quotes he's got. Yeah, I can see him in a lot of different stuff. I'm excited for Space Force. Comes out later this month.
Oh yeah, super excited.
I just like binge watch as soon as it comes out over and over.
I was gonna go ahead and shout this out. This was once I finished the One Tree Hill rewatch, which is probably gonna be like July, somewhere around there. By the time they're all posted, we're gonna get into The Office, and we're gonna do a Office rewatch.
I'm ready.
I know. I keep having to stop myself from just rewatching it already. Every time I pass it on Netflix, I'm like,
well, it like popped up on mine last night. I'm like, oh no, I got to go to a different streaming service. It can happen because it's like after season 1's only like 6 episodes. I'm like, well, after that it's downhill, man. It's gonna happen. And I mean, that 6 episodes is like a sit down and watch that, and I'll be done.
Yeah.
That's here comes the whole series.
We'll start posting those videos once I finish with One Tree Hill, which is sometime in July, I think, when I've mapped it out. But in terms of watching, when we start watching and recording, it'll probably be before that, I would imagine. So we'll see. Because we're over halfway through season 7, watching it right now. Man. But I just posted season 5.
Yeah, so I saw that. I was like, what do you mean it's season 7? Last time I heard you were like at 6:18. I'm like, man, season 7. You got to catch up on your videos, dude.
I have a lot of them recorded. I just haven't posted them yet. But yeah, there's a few that I like. I haven't recorded anything past 7:01 yet, and we just watched 7:14. A little behind the scenes of that, so I got to get caught up.
A little bit. That was your number 9.
That was my number 9, and you said your number 6. So what's your number 9?
Well, I'm on my number 8.
Okay. You went first. Yeah, right. So what is your number 8?
Mine is one of your honorable mentions as well, is Leonardo DiCaprio. What is it? Whether or not he's choosing my roles, like I'm assuming that he says yes to the role that's written for him. So, like I said, one of the best actors of all time. I can't think like off the top of my head like in a performance he gave that was bad. I'm sure there's some movie he was in that was bad, but he was probably still good in it.
I mean, I've seen some of his bad movies, but I don't remember him being bad in it. Like J. Edgar
yeah,
was
I forgot.
bad. I don't think he was bad in it though.
Yeah, I blocked that movie out of my brain.
Body of Lies with Russell Crowe. Nah.
I didn't watch that. You said The Beach too was another bad one, didn't you?
I haven't seen The Beach. I've heard it is bad, but I haven't seen it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I should have won an Oscar for What's Eating Gilbert Grape back in the day.
And Django.
Yeah, but skipped out. We'll save it for The Revenant, which shouldn't have been his Oscar. But anyway,
he was great in The Revenant though. Second best performance of that year.
Second best performance of that movie.
Leading. You're crazy. Get out of here.
Tom Hardy was better. But yeah, somebody who I'd love to work with. Like I said, one of the best actors of all time. Like you said, he is selective about his roles, but like I said, I'm assuming he says yes to whatever I write for him. So that's why he's so high on the list. Otherwise, like he wouldn't be on here at all because he's not choosing my roles.
Not when you like Jack Nicholson as Eric Selvig. Wait, what is going on here?
That is
Leo play the janitor in your
that's the
Breakfast Club remake.
What's the problem? He'll be the vice principal and he'll like it.
Yeah, that's not happening, dude.
Probably want to be like, yeah, I want to be Bender. Man, you're a little old for this.
De-age me. Irishman technology.
Get Scorsese to produce. He knows what it takes.
Somebody else I don't think is going to be in your list is my number 8. And she.
No.
Whatever
not.
you. What? No women in your list?
I have one more, and it's not on your list at all.
Wow. Okay. She, was part of a trilogy that wasn't very good. Kind of like the one that's going to be in your list coming up. I know who is on your list, so it's kind of in a similar situation. But she is a great actress. I've seen her in other things, and she really popped. And I feel like she would definitely fit into the type of films that I want to make, and that is Dakota Johnson. Is my number 8.
God.
What?
I don't understand Dakota Johnson on your list, especially considering I guessed all of yours earlier.
And she
wasn't even on there. I could understand. I'm wondering who you replaced her with now, because you haven't mentioned some of these, like especially like Reese Witherspoon. I guess you just kicked her to the curb.
She did not make it into my final list.
Over Dakota Johnson? What trilogy are you talking about?
50 Shades of Grey.
Oh man!
But even that shitty, awful trilogy, she wasn't bad in it.
I don't think she was bad, but I don't know. Like I love her more Peanut Butter Falcon.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like look at her in Bad Times. Look at her in Peanut Butter Falcon. Even look at her in Black Mass, which is a film I didn't really like. With Johnny Depp. That was the first time I'd seen a film. I watched, and she blew me away from that movie. That's when I walked out of that movie. I was like, well, she gave the best performance in there. Like I think she was probably overlooked for a supporting actress nomination back for that. I'd have to look back at 2015. I'd probably rewatch the movie, but based on my memory, she was incredible in it. And like looking at the roles that she's chose with Peanut Butter Falcon and Bad Times, I feel like I could write something really special for her, and I would like that.
Maybe. I don't know. She'd be another one too. Like I think she chose 50 Shades just because it was a big movie and she thought it could start her career.
Absolutely, and I don't blame her for that.
Yeah, I think if she was a more established actress, she would be like, "No, get that script out of here. I'm not doing that movie."
Definitely.
Oh man, I don't know.
Just like Robert Pattinson with Twilight. He hates that trilogy. He hates that series.
Good. It's terrible. Like I'm not saying that him. From what I remember, I've only seen all the movies one time, and I forced myself to watch them then. But from what I remember, him and Kristen Stewart, I thought were fine in the movies, based on like what I'd read about their characters and what they were supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell he's not. That's how he's playing the character.
Yeah, it's not just like I'm gonna give a bad performance for the paycheck. Yeah, I don't know. She would be on my way longer list.
Oh. I really want to work with her. I think she'd be good.
I'd be interested to see it.
I also really want to watch Peanut Butter Falcon and Bad Times now.
I just watched those. Like the past 2 weeks. Incredible. Jeff Bridges skipped for an Oscar nomination for Bad Times. You ready to talk? My next one, number 7, is Ryan Gosling.
Okay. Yeah, Ryan Gosling is my number 2. Second favorite actor. So yeah, there was 2 people, like my 1 and 2 was like, obviously they were my 1 and 2. So he was there.
Get there. Calm down.
Yeah, okay.
Love Ryan Gosling. I don't know. Aside from my favorite actor and favorite actress, I'm not sure who would be my actual, the rest of the list. Like if I made a top 10, I'd have to sit down and think about it. I know he would be on it.
I know my top 3 for my actors. And then beyond that, I know Steve Carell would be on there as well, but I don't know beyond that.
I'd have to think about it. I'd like to say I know he'd be in the top 10, obviously, top 5 probably. His incredible performances, Drive, Blue Valentine, Blade Runner 2049. But like I say, I keep saying it, but he's like one of those 2 that, his range is all over the place. Like, you look at, 2011? His big year, Drive, Crazy
Sides of March.
Kind of all over the place. Crazy Stupid Love is that, and like Lars and the Real Girl are like 2 of his like out there like comedic performances. But he also started the decade with Blue Valentine, which is one of his best performances.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I say, he's in that age where, I don't know. Like I say, I still love to work with him, even though he's getting kind of middle-aged, just older. Figure out what you would want to do with his characters that you would choose.
Right, and that's another thing too. Is because how I was doing my list, and I kind of almost put more people younger, like Dakota Johnson and a couple other people I have on this list, up closer to the top. For that reason, but also just like I admire his work so much, and he is my second favorite actor, that he did become my number 2. And with the roles that he chooses, at least in the past, I don't know, with his past couple movies being hugely successful for him, like I guess like critically, like with La La Land and all that, I don't know, like. But look at the past stuff with Blue Valentine, Place Beyond the Pines, all of that. I think I could find something in there, and that's the situation where it was like I didn't choose other people to be on my list, like a Chris Pine, or even DiCaprio with being putting him on honorable mentions. It's like looking at that age range of like who I would pick from these actors, and like, well, Ryan Gosling is my favorite actor in that age range, so like I would pick him. So he's my number 2.
Yeah, love to work with him.
That was your 7?
Yes.
My 7 is somebody who was in your honorable mentions, and that goes back to the age thing of somebody being this younger age, and be me looking at them and being like, hey, I could do something with them, and that's Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to be on this list somewhere in the 15, didn't know where. And he ended up getting pushed up to 7 because of the age.
And Tony Boy.
And I just rewatched Tony Boy.
Yeah.
And that performance, like, so overlooked in that movie. Like, that was incredible.
I think even the first time you watched it, you thought Lucas Hedges gave the better performance. I don't know if you still do, but I still say
no, I don't. Now after rewatch, they both gave phenomenal performances.
Yeah.
I think he gave the better performance, but what I was so blown away with Lucas Hedges is because like I could see Shia watching him.
Well, he got the voice and everything, the mannerisms. Yeah.
Well, we don't know what Shia's dad was like, because so I mean he could be doing everything just like
Shia.
Yeah, I mean because even him, he changed his mannerisms and voice and stuff in that film, and
so he get the right voice because he said he blew out his nostril glands doing coke. Man,
it was a really great movie.
Yeah.
So I think whatever role I would write for him and put in the film, I think he could do a great job with it. He's young enough to lead the film. And I think I could probably he would fit in the tone of whatever movie I was going to make.
Yeah. Like I say, the only reason I got him so low on mine, I'm trying to think other than that, like, I don't think he was bad in Transformers, but I think right now he's just making it, like, his actual career is kind of starting now. Like before, I mean, he's obviously like more well known back then.
See, I've always liked Shia.
I never had like Disney as a kid, so I never watched, all the stuff he did as a younger kid.
Yeah, I was even Steven Stan.
Yeah,
as a kid.
I mean, I've seen some episodes here and there, but like Holes, I watched as a kid. And like I say, Transformers, that was 2007. So I mean, after that, he hadn't had a really big career until like the past 2 or 3 years.
Critically.
Yeah, critically.
But and I think that's what's so more interesting about working with him is that he started at this young age. He was so successful back then financially, big films that he was doing to be a star. Look at Honey Boy. Look at how he was pushed and all this different stuff. He was in these movies. It didn't, he went through a lot of terrible stuff, and now he is where he is, and he's doing these well-made films, great performances. But he's been around all of these people too, for the good and the bad, like Harrison Ford, Spielberg, all these different people, and learns. He's got to have learned something from all these different experiences, people he's been around. Sigourney Weaver, but she was in Holes, right?
Yeah.
John Voight.
I bet that taught him something.
Yeah, but I mean, just like really good performances from all these people. So I think that he's definitely learned more from that too. And he's a writer, so
I'd love to work with him. We said my number 6, but you said your number 2 was Gosling, so I guess we're even.
Yes,
correct. All right, so my number 5. I hope you're ready to talk. It's Sam Rockwell. I hope you're ready to talk.
He's my number 5 as well. So
nice.
We jumped over my number 6. We'll get back to him, but Sam Rockwell is my number 5 as well.
Yeah, just another one. I had forgot so many of his performances that I'd already seen. Like, I don't know. I guess he just didn't stand out to me back then. Like, I watched The Green Mile probably 10 or 12 times as a kid. Into my teenage years. Like, but I guess
never seen it.
I told
How big a role does he have in the movie?
He's a supporting role, but it's pivotal to the movie.
Okay.
That's the thing. Like, back when I watched it, though, I didn't know who he was really. So, I mean, when I watched it, I'm like, oh, Tom Hanks, Michael Clark Duncan. Those are the two standouts, which they're still the two standouts of the movie, but he gives an amazing performance for his character. I don't want to spoil anything for you for what he does or anything like that, but I was rewatched that like a month ago. I was like, oh man, now I know Sam Rockwell's in it. I'm going to pay attention to his character more because of his performances I've seen lately. Like 3 Billboards, one of the best performances of the last decade.
Yeah.
Like I said, other than that, like you said, like Iron Man, I'm waiting on them to bring him back.
Man,
now.
Like, I rewatched Iron Man 2 recently, which I like quite a bit more than most people. I don't know what people's problem with that movie is. Like, you can look at Whiplash being underwhelming, sure, but Sam Rockwell was perfect to play Justin Hammer. I really want them to bring him back. He just like look at his hands; they're so orange, like the spray tans going on. Just like he's so comical too, but he can do such a great performance too. Like look at 3 Billboards,
Vice.
What was that movie? I forgot the title of it, but it was kind of overlooked.
7 Psychopaths.
No, well that too, but it was the one with what is her name? I can see her face. It was based in North Carolina, and it was the segregation in the schools. Yes, Best of Enemies. Yeah. I thought he was really good in that.
Yeah. Well, like even the one, like, and this is one of the examples, like a movie I watched like back to back was The Way Back. He was a supporting character in that, but I thought he gave the best performance.
The A24 movie I watched recently that he was in with Keira Knightley.
Laggies.
I thought he was good in that.
Mr. Right is on Netflix. Him and Anna Kendrick. That was pretty funny.
I need to check that out.
Good chemistry together. He was in. Wasn't he in another A24? Was it Woman Walks Ahead? I haven't seen that yet, but I think
he is a bad guy in that. But yeah.
Oh, spoiler.
Figure it out pretty quickly.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll get there. But yeah, love to work with Sam Rockwell. Like, he's another one that Lonesome Dove, if I make it, he's one of the leading characters. He's taken Robert Duvall's spot.
And he has done big films, but he also does these like A24 movies, you know, and like smaller stuff with smaller filmmakers. And he's so damn talented. And like, I really want to work with him.
I remember his Oscar speech for 3 Billboards. He's like, "Oh, I'm glad I, finally did a movie somebody watched." I was like, people watch your movies. It's just like, that's the thing. Like The Green Mile, you're in the movie, but it's like, one, it's the earlier in your career, and then the leading actor is Tom Hanks, so no one's going to pay attention to the supporting cast.
Well, that's what I was talking to my dad at some point. I think it was after 3 Billboards came out. I might have let him borrow it, and it was like telling him, how good Rockwell's performance was, and he brought up The Green Mile because he's a fan of that movie. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, hadn't seen it, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, that's the thing. I've seen it multiple times, and like just when I rewatched it, I forgot he was in it. And I'm like, all right, well now I know who I'm paying attention to on this rewatch, the supporting cast. I know Tom Hanks and Michael Clark Duncan were incredible. I don't have to pay attention to them this go around. Yeah, phenomenal.
That's both our number 5. And I want to jump back now to my number 6. And I guess that's somebody you didn't, because you didn't put her in your honorable mentions. I guess, so it's somebody you didn't make your cut. I guess it's because of the movie thing, but I have seen her in, you mentioned another movie I saw her in, The Outlaw King, but so I've seen her, I guess, in 4 films. Yeah. Last year she was in 3, and she crushed every role that she played. One of those films I didn't necessarily like, but she was great in it. And that's Florence Pugh. Incredible actress. I think she should have won supporting actress last year for Little Women. Phenomenal performance. I really liked her in that. But I also think she should have got a nomination for Fighting with My Family because she was incredible in that.
I think performance that I've seen.
Debatable.
She was in my 20s, 25, something like that.
She's 25?
She was in my top. I can't remember if she was in my top 20 or 25 because I delete those after I made my whole list.
Yeah. I deleted that. I should
probably save them, but.
But yeah, she's my number 6 because she's I think she's born. I was looking at ages like 96, so she's right up there. Like probably can do any role that I write for her. And she's great, and like that one scene, I know you think is the main thing about Little Women, which that's the best scene with her in the movie, but I think she gave other good scenes too. But her delivery of that dialogue in that scene in Little Women, great. I would love for her to write a script and her read my dialogue. I think that would be great. So yeah, she's my number 6.
It's not like I say. I mean, if she auditioned for a role, she's like, "Yo, I want to do your movie." I'm not going to turn it down.
You're like, I don't think so.
Sorry, I need to see more than this one scene. It's just something like I say. I've only seen like the 3 movies she was in last year. That's all I've seen. Midsommar, I'll revisit that later. Fighting with My Family, I've seen twice. I think that's her best performance. Little Women, I didn't think she was bad in it, but like I said, I've already told you. I think that one scene is what got her the nomination. Not that she's bad in the overall movie. I think it's like if you're picking certain scenes, like I can't even remember the actress's name. The one sister that dies, was it Beth? Like I think her scene on the beach was phenomenal. I think.
I'm not saying it's bad. Are you saying she's better than in the movie?
No, I'm not saying she's better. I'm just saying overall, I think Saoirse Ronan's better in the movie.
That's leading actress though, but yeah.
Yeah, but like I say, if we're choosing just certain scenes, I would put Florence Pugh scene with Timothée Chalamet the same caliber as that character with Saoirse Ronan on the beach. Now, overall, yeah, I do think Florence Pugh gave the best performance of the supporting cast in the movie.
My favorite. I want to rewatch that too. I wish that would come on Amazon or something soon, but I don't know.
I doubt it. I would see it like Hulu first.
But I remember. I feel like, and it's been a while. Like I know her performance, all that she did in the movie stood out. That scene was one of my favorites, and then the scene too with Saoirse Ronan and Timothée Chalamet on the hill. Both of those scenes I really liked.
See, I like the scene with Saoirse Ronan in the attic with her mom the most out of that movie. But that's another one like Greta Gerwig. I wish he would do just original work. So,
because like I think she did a really good job with Little Women. I have it at 4 stars, but it's like,
yeah,
I don't know what she would have done with that movie, that story, any better to make me like it more.
And I doubt, like I say, you're not a big fan of period pieces anyway.
No.
So it's like that kind of got you automatically like it's not gonna be 5 stars.
But it was still one of my most anticipated movies of the year, or at least at that time, because she directed it, and Lady Bird is a 5-star movie for me. Like I love that movie. So
yeah, it's all right. But
that's somebody who I felt bad not putting on the list either. And if I had made a longer list, she would have been in there, Saoirse Ronan.
I think I might Greta Gerwig.
But I don't know. I feel like she might be more selective of her work. Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like she would.
I don't know. I'd have to look at her whole filmography to be like more selective.
I know I'm not going to write like a Brooklyn type movie, so I don't know.
Nah, I doubt you are. Yeah, no, that's a hard pass for you. Who do we got? That was my number 5. That was your number 6.
Yes. So I have my 4, 3, and 1 left.
I have my top 4 altogether. If you want to go, because I've got 4. You got
top 4. I have 3.
I have 4.
Well, go ahead and say who's your 4. Is it going to be on my list?
You're going to want to say your number 3 or 4.
Okay. My number 4 is obviously not on your list because you said you only had one more actress, and I know who that is. My number 4 is Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, she was on my long list too.
Yeah, I just can't imagine not putting her in this list. And she is my second favorite actress.
Man.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite actress?
Yeah.
We'll get to her.
Oh, she's on the list.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But Scarlett Johansson is my second favorite actress. Despite what people think of her, she is incredible. Like every performance that she does is great. What are you making that face for?
Oh, okay. I was like, who's your favorite actress? But I was looking at the list. Okay.
Like, look at this past year. She should have won the Academy Award for Marriage Story.
Well, and that's the thing. It's not that I dislike her. I just, as far as my list, it's like things like that was another part of like who I've seen more stuff from, I guess. Like with Scarlett Johansson, I was thinking like besides the MCU movies and her movies of the past couple of years, not that she's bad in them, but really in the MCU she doesn't get any acting like standout performance
until Endgame.
Yeah, like her one scene I love in Age of Ultron with Hulk. I love that scene. But other than that, like say Marriage Story, Jojo Rabbit, but like say other than that, that's the reason she's not higher is that like her whole filmography, like she's another like Shia. Her career's kind of just starting, I think, even though she's been around for a while.
Yeah, I also thought she was good in what was it Don John? She was in.
I went to see the movie. I don't really remember it. If I watched the movie, I haven't seen Lost in Translation. I can't remember if you.
I haven't seen that. No. Obviously she's been in like other voice stuff too, like Isle of Dogs, Rough Night. She was in, which people didn't like that movie. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it.
voice performance in Her, which you hated.
She is in Her. Another voice performance in Jungle Book. Chef, she was in that. Don John, like I said. Hitchcock. Under the Skin, she was in that movie.
Yeah, she gave it pretty good in that.
But I think she's incredible, and I really want to. I would like to make a movie with her as the lead in it.
I can see her being like a coming of age movie as like the mom, like supporting role.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not a diss.
I know, but that's you on your coming of age stuff. So I mean, that's fine. I see where you're coming from.
Like I could have saw her like I mean the one that just came to mind was like Age of 17. I could have seen her playing the mom, and just knocking that out of the park.
I feel like she's a little young for that, but
how dare you? She's almost 40. Is she not?
Is she? I thought maybe.
Maybe. Video. She's not. I don't feel bad now.
She was born in '84. So.
She's 35, so we're middle-aged 30s. So if you made a coming-of-age movie, she could, play one that had the kid younger than she wanted. I can see that scene playing out.
I feel like I could make a
but then
Once Upon a Time style movie and have her play like a Cliff Booth type character, female. Yeah.
That's going to Zoe Bell, dude.
I said if I was making it, not Taryn.
Oh, okay.
Just talking about like the style of the film, character type. Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see one where, like, I think she's a good actress. I don't know, great. I'd have to hold that for the next like 2 or 3 years to see what else she does.
Gonna make my Once Upon a Time style movie with female, and it's gonna be Scarlett Johansson as my Cliff Booth, and then my favorite actress up here, number 3, is gonna be my Rick Dalton.
I can see them playing apart one another, but then I don't think they could be stunt doubles.
They're not playing. I don't know.
Well, she did have red hair in Infinity War, didn't she? Or that was blonde, but before she had red.
Infinity War, she had blonde hair.
Yeah, so before that, she had red hair. I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. I'll watch it. Yeah, I hope you're ready to talk. My number 3, Brad Pitt.
Yeah, Brad Pitt's my number 1. Favorite actor. He was my second favorite, and then recently I made a decision. He's moved up to my favorite actor. Not only after, Cliff Booth is my favorite character of all time. Love Once Upon a Time is a favorite movie. But I've been, rewatched some of his work recently, and I'm going to continue doing that. I rewatched Moneyball, Benjamin Button.
Yeah, you're welcome for Moneyball.
Yeah, Moneyball was great. I was pleasantly surprised during that rewatch.
Yeah.
Being, what was it, 15 when I watched it, 16 when I watched it the first time. And I only seen it one time in theaters, and I was just like, man, I don't even like baseball.
I've been telling you for years. Rewatch it. No, thank you. Even when I watched it.
Hands down, I don't know if he would make a movie with me because he is, so iconic. He's Brad Pitt, but that's the number 1 person I want to work with.
I mean, he still does, well, Plan B his studio produced 12 Years a Slave, but he was still a supporting role in that.
He might produce my movie. Maybe
he even does he even does fun cameos like Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's not one where he's like, no, I'm better than that role.
Right, and it's also too is some of these things I looked at. I'm like, who would I like to work with? Just off camera, who would be cool to be on set with, and who I would vibe with, and he just seems like a really cool dude, and somebody who not only I could just hang out with, but also I could learn a lot of stuff from as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's only my number 4. Not a diss to him.
Oh, it was your number 3.
You thought it was. It's not.
Did he just move down? Just right now? You said 3 to begin with.
No, I said 4. I said I've got 3 left after him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just now he moved down. I was like, I don't like your argument.
Moving him down.
But yeah, he was my number 4. You got 1 left, I'm guessing, or 2?
Yeah, I just have my number 3 left.
I guess I can go. My number 3 favorite actress, Kristen Stewart. Get out of here with that face. I don't want to hear it, dude. Your favorite actress is your number 3, so
Yeah, you're right.
it's that mine is my number 3. And like I say, when we get to my number 2, that's not for acting. It's just for iconic and personal.
Ah, man.
Yeah. You already know.
So you have two. You have her and then one more person.
I have her. I have Kristen Stewart, and then I have my 2 and my 1.
Okay. Did you put somebody who's retired on your list?
I told you it counts.
Oh my God.
I told you that
randomly picking somebody else on the spot. Let's throw in there.
I told you they're coming out of retirement to work with me.
I hope you get a good performance from Kristen Stewart.
I think she is a phenomenal actress. I would arguably say the best actress of our generation.
You are out of your mind.
No.
You must have just I don't know, fell off your bed, hit the nightstand on the way down. Something happened, because my number 3, my favorite actress, is better than Kristen Stewart. And you know it's true.
Well, no, I don't know it's true.
You know it's true.
We had this conversation before, I think, as far as what we consider our generation. I think we had it. I can't remember. I feel like we did.
We did, and that's like a whole maybe rocks.
But. Yeah, that's whatever. I still stand by Kristen Stewart. But to be fair, I've seen more underrated performances from her than you have. You watch the ones that's right out there, right in your face, like American Ultra. That's a big push, and you're like, oh, this was terrible.
I'm not saying she's bad. And she used to be higher up on my list of actresses I liked, but that was when I watched certain movies, and now, because she was great in Adventureland. That's my favorite performance from her. I loved her in Adventureland. Thought she was good in Runaways. Don't think she was bad in Twilight, like a lot of people.
Well, yeah, her and Robert, that I stand by. They played the character the way it was written.
She was in Still Alice.
Yeah, I thought she was fantastic in Still Alice.
And I'm sure there's other ones I'm forgetting that she was in. But then it's other movies that I've watched, like American Ultra, which is fine. If one bad performance, whatever. American Shopper. I think it was American. What was it? Personal Shopper. That's what it was.
Yeah, I loved her Personal Shopper.
I thought she was good in that. I wouldn't say that bold statement that she's the best of actress of our generation. There was nothing in any of those movies that I was
I think the one thing that people overlook from her is it's very subtle acting. It's not, she doesn't have really standout scene where it's like the Florence Pugh of Little Women. She doesn't have scenes like that where it's oh yeah, this is right here. It's very subtle but consistent throughout the whole film that'll evoke emotion through her. One, I think if you watch will be Camp X-Ray, I think you would really appreciate her performance in that one, which you'll never watch.
Maybe.
You won't watch it. Another one would be Welcome to the Rileys. I love her performance in that with James Gandolfini, the chemistry they have together.
I also watched Underwater that was the first movie I watched in theaters this decade, and I was like, man, that was a shitter.
Did she give a bad performance?
It was all bad, dude. It wasn't a good performance from her. The movie was bad, but her performance didn't make anything better.
No. I say, I liked her, and I thought she was the best part of Charlie's Angels.
That's another thing. That's why I'm not really her biggest fan right now, because I watched that and Charlie's Angels.
I don't think that was a bad movie. I had fun with it. I don't think it's just critically best picture worthy, but
I don't think it was. It wasn't Underwater bad. Because I'm trying to think. I think I gave Underwater a
1.5.
I gave it a 1.5. Charlie's Angels, I want to say I gave it a 2 or a 2.5.
I gave Charlie's Angels a 3.5. Like I said, I had fun with it.
Gave it a 2.5.
When I went in, I already expected bad reviews. I figured what I was getting, and I liked her. I liked the 3 main girls. Elizabeth Banks was fun too, but the movie was predictable. As soon as that first scene, where none of them were in it, oh yeah, we're just toasting this guy. All right, Yeah, I can go ahead and guess what's happening here.
The best part of that movie, in my opinion, was Naomi Scott.
I like Naomi Scott. Like the whole leading, all the 4 leading females.
Part of my problem with Kristen Stewart and Charlie's Angels wasn't necessarily her performance. It was more of how her character was written. They kind of wrote her character like she was an idiot, I thought.
See, I didn't think that.
I don't know.
I thought she was.
See, I can do stuff too, or something like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're a spy. What are we? What am I watching? Oh, it just made me mad.
I had fun with it. Like I said, Camp X-Ray, I think is the one that you should watch. That I think you'd appreciate her performance a lot from. I've got it, but it doesn't have a slipcover, so that annoys me. But yeah, she's my number 3.
And you got 2 more, so go ahead and say your next one. Your number 2.
Number 2, personal hero, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like you said, I don't care if I never write a role for this guy. I don't care if he's just walking in the background.
See, that's the thing where it's like I feel like you would have to meet him first, and
I would die,
and have a working relationship with him, and then be like, hey, if I write a movie for you, will you make it?
I'm not sure that's true because I watched Killing Gunther and that movie was terrible.
Well, I'm not saying
relationship with him. He's another one he's like Brad Pitt for you. I see him being one that isn't like uppity, like, oh, I'm only choosing these kind of roles. Like I feel like he's one that is, I don't know.
Well, I don't mean it more in that way. I mean it more in the way where it's like you would want to write a character for Arnold.
Yeah.
Versus writing a character and then be like, I guess Arnold could play this character. I mean, because it is Arnold. It's like I can't see with somebody like him and he is so distinct.
Yeah.
Where it's not like, he's not coming in here and like completely changing up something.
You say it, man.
He's not going method like Daniel Day and just like changing his appearance and like.
But if he did lose like 100 pounds of muscle weight, play like Chris Hemsworth in Bad Times, just.
Yeah. Oh man, I want to see that.
But he's like I say, he's not making my list because of how personal connection he has to me. Like with I grew up watching his movies. Like him as a person, I've researched him, read his book Total Recall, just to plug that book for him. You're welcome. I think he's phenomenal. Seems like a great guy to work with. Like you said, somebody who would be fun, like Offset. Like you already said, you would love to like drink whiskey and smoke a cigar.
Oh, definitely.
So it's like, oh, we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break here.
Even if I like just pass out from smoking a cigar.
Yeah, it's like we're taking a quick 10-minute. I'm going to Arnold's trailer. We're gonna smoke a drink, and then we'll come back and make this movie. Don't even care what the critics say. This movie could be a 0% Rotten Tomatoes, and I would never regret making it with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, Arnold. I would like to work with Arnold and Stallone, both of them. But both of them to me, that's like that's why I didn't think about putting them on my list because it's like I would have to write a role for them.
Yeah.
And that would require me.
I would if I had to.
But you could think about that, and you could write a role for Arnold.
It will be in Lonesome Dove, and he'll like it. It's a 6.5 hour.
God, you're gonna cut it down to 3 hours. You want this movie in cinemas or not?
I said it's going to be a miniseries. It has to be another miniseries. There's just so much. So 6.5 hours, he's in there somewhere. I don't care if it's like, I think he has like an IMDb credit for The Rundown with The Rock. I think he was like a bar patron. Like that's what it's going to be for Lonesome Dove.
So you have your number 1 and I have my number 3.
Yes.
My number 3 on my list, and the last one I have on my list, is my favorite actress. And that's Emma Stone. I think she's somebody who, once again, can do pretty much anything. We've seen her do comedy. Started off, like, first thing I ever watched her in was Superbad. Thought she was great in that.
I think mine was Ghost of Girlfriend's Past. It's just a supporting role.
Really? Yeah, I hadn't seen that. She did have a small role in that movie, Just Friends, though, with Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis. which is I think is an underrated rom-com. It's
That's
not
Friends with Benefits. Just Friends is Ryan Gosling.
Friends with Benefits. See, I hadn't seen the movie in a while, but it is an underrated movie. Check it out if you like those types
She's
of
in
movies.
it for like a minute. She breaks up
She
with
is.
Timberlake.
She is. But Amelia Kunis is really good in that movie too. I like it. But
Yeah.
anyways, she's in that. Really draws you to the screen. Every role she does. My favorite performance with her is obviously the one that she won the Oscar for, and is my fourth favorite film of all time, and that's La La Land. More dramatic in that. You know, you can also look at something like Birdman, her performance in that, which was very dramatic and not much comedy at all. And she's young. She's about our age. So once again, it's somebody who I would like to write a leading role for. Big role, put her in that. So yeah, that's my last person on my list.
Your last person was your favorite actress. Mine's my favorite actor. Retired or not, he's coming out of retirement. Because no matter what role you write for Daniel Day-Lewis, he's going to be method, and he's going to give you the best. Don't you scratch your eye.
You should write a movie about an actor coming out of retirement. Never mind, I'm going to do that.
No, I already got it. Thank you for that. Best actor of all time. I don't know who would even come close, to be honest. Yeah, get out of here. You're racking your brain.
You can make that. You can make that he's the best. You can make that argument, but coming close, Leo would come close.
He's second. I think he's the best of our generation, or whatever you want to say, generation.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Lewis overall, just phenomenal. I think his acting in There Will Be Blood is the best acting I've ever seen in my life. You don't agree?
I don't know. I don't know enough to give a statement like that.
I don't know enough, but out of what I've seen, that's what I'm rating number one.
That's a very bold statement.
That is a bold statement, but prove me wrong. That's what I say. I don't know what else to say about Daniel Lewis. He's incredible. He always gives 100%. He would be one that would be interesting to work with because he always stays in character offset. So it's I wonder if you'd ever get to interact with him or just the character you wrote. I don't know.
Better write an interesting character.
Doesn't have to be interesting. He'll make it interesting. He could be the janitor in the Breakfast Club, and he would just go all in. Get a job at a school.
You should make a Vice-like movie about Trump, and have Daniel Day come in and.
Could you imagine though? People would start loving Trump though. That's the problem. I see where he was coming from.
He just gains weight.
Dyes his hair.
Spray tan.
Yeah.
Man.
I can see it.
Just goes to Trump Tower. He's like, I live here.
Kristen Stewart could be his wife. Yeah. I'm trying to think who would be a good Mike Pence.
Christian Bale.
I don't know. I was thinking Steve Carell, off my list.
Every time I look at Mike Pence, I'm like, this is really Christian Bale fucking with us. This isn't real.
So?
Yeah.
He's going to come out one day
I thought that before Vice even came out. I was like, man, if they ever make a movie about all this, Christian Bale is Mike Pence.
Oh, man. That'd be something. But yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis, phenomenal. Any like I say, don't care if it was the smallest role. I would love to work with this guy. Just blow you away. Supporting actor nomination. That's what he get.
He's okay. I don't know if you've seen Rob Schneider though, but
you like The Animal more than I do. I like Just Big Love.
You're talking about favorite or best performances of all time. Have you seen him in The Animal?
Have you seen him in The Longest Yard?
He tries to flirt with the goat. I mean, come on. That was similar right there.
Rooney Mara eating a pie.
Get out of here, dude. The movie went over your head. You didn't get it.
Yeah, I did not get it.
You were like, why are they wearing sheets? I don't understand.
I know why that guy's wearing a sheet, but I don't know why I got to watch a character eat a pie for 4 minutes straight.
It was making it uncomfortable to watch.
It was uncomfortable.
You're like the ghost watching this.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it on the next episode of Free Pour. I don't want
to try to be real deep about something that's just garbage.
All right, guys, that's our top 10 actors and actresses that we would like to work with. Next week on Top Shelf, we have top 10 props that we would like to own. All right, guys, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel.